So this is the program webinar for Information and Service Management Master's Program. I'm Program Head Matti Rossi. We have here also Katri Kauppi, Associate Professor Katri Kauppi. Then our planning officer Anna Pipparinen is joining in a minute. And then we have Yuan Wei, who is student in the program. Then Anna and Ellen, Jenny, present yourselves.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm a marketing coordinator at Aalto University School of Business, and I will be in the webinar answering your questions during the presentation. You can ask any questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom screen during the webinar, and then at the end of the webinar we will have a discussion where Matti and Katri and Anna will go through questions you have. But Yijuan, go ahead. You can maybe say a few words about yourself as well.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Yijuan. I'm originally from China, but I've been here in Finland for 5 years. So Information Service Management is my master program. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing studies in this program, and I'm also currently doing my master thesis.
All right, we will go to the program. We go through the program slides reasonably fast. Feel free to ask questions now or in the end. So why should you come to ISM program? We have these placement surveys. These are from 2023. The graduates have found first employment before graduation. This is now slightly tighter than it was, but still, after a year, I still can promise that nearly all of you will be employed. The 100% have been consistently satisfied with the degree. Most will state that the study is equipped them for work life. What we see also that students who change from other programs to our program, they always say that the reason is the close connection with the work life. We have reasonably good starting salaries. So these are good reasons to join. And I believe that despite all of the stories about AI replacing work, our people will be those who will do the consulting and implementation of those AI things. So there will be work to be done. So information service management comprises of analytics, supply chain management, and information systems. Yes, my slides obviously have faster than I expected transitioning them. But here are the majors. I come from information systems. What we do is developing IT-enabled services and business models for them. We look at consumer use of IT. Many of our students end up in IT consulting. I just noticed that we have a meeting here of SEMS in a couple of weeks, and there was a Bain Consulting. There was from Bain Consulting a partner. McKinsey, a partner, and Tapio Melkin, and he is our own alumni. And many of you, as said, will be developing these services, and you will be either buying information systems or consulting others in those. Then we have business analytics, which has been growing quite a bit in recent years. It's about data-driven decision making, consumer analysis in traditional and digital markets, risk controls, and so on. And these have been big growth areas, the parts of business analytics. And much of what is seen as artificial intelligence is machine learning within business analytics. And that we can talk about supply chain management.
Yes, yes. So within supply chain management, we are looking at kind of the flow of goods, materials, products in global supply chains, and also looking at then flow of people in service operations if in certain industries. And the sort of supply chain management fits very well with information systems and business analytics. A lot of the kind of data flows that are needed for efficient product flows need information systems. Then also we kind of look at increasingly the data analytics in support of good supply chain management decisions. But overall in supply chain management, we kind of look both from the managerial perspective, the sort of strategic and operative decisions that are needed both within and between companies to get the goods flowing correctly. And then also looking at the sort of from the analytical perspective, the sort of optimization of those, for example. And I think also kind of looking at kind of current business environment, the geopolitical uncertainties, and then also climate change and kind of big sustainability themes that are very relevant at the moment. These are areas where supply chains in good and bad kind of need to be looked at very carefully in the future and strategically adapted. So again, there's a lot of interesting work opportunities in this field.
Yes, and also there are some of these are more technical, and some of these are quite math and stats oriented. But then there are also, how can I say, software more consulting oriented choices in here. Some math and stats is needed in our studies, but if you have, let's say, background, you have done okay with these courses in your bachelor's, you should be fine in here. So here is what you should learn in here. You should be able to use and develop data analysis and business intelligence in organizations. Many organizations are now busy implementing these things. And as Katri said, many of the supply chain like resilience things are in practice. These are first you have enterprise systems or supply chain management systems implemented with software. And then you will have on top of that different analytics and machine learning tools which will make sense of the data gathered. So you'll be able to apply quantitative and data-driven decision making. This is now very popular and highly sought after in companies. And we have had always the business models for digital and service businesses has been part of our teaching. And then you should be able to also analyze and develop digital services and lead people and projects. One thing that is not almost certainly being replaced by artificial intelligence anytime soon is projects where you develop these new systems. Some parts of it they might be done by artificial intelligence, but not everything can be done. What will you become through our programs? And it will be different kinds of analysts, business intelligence, and data science. Surprisingly, many actually end up being also advisors for like companies, like investment banks, because those don't necessarily have people who have much of machine learning or analytics background. So they need somebody who can tell them where to invest. I would say more than half of our like information system students will end up in consulting. These are typically information-based service development and digital services. We have many of our own students coming back to talk in our courses who are working in consulting firms in various more junior or more senior positions. Then project and product and logistics managers are also quite typical job profiles. And these are kind of analysts and consultants are usually on the supply side of the information systems and analytics and supply chain management systems. And if you are product manager or logistics manager, you are often on the buying side of these systems. And in both sides, our studies help you. how we try to teach you these things. So we have one idea is that we have real world challenges. So we have problem-based challenges and solve real world cases. We have lots of business projects. We have hackathons at times. Then you can have internships, and then you can deepen your knowledge in thesis and teaching cases. About 70 to 80% of our students do their theses as assignments for companies or public sector organizations. Here's an example of one course. So my course, which is currently ongoing, project management and consulting practice. And there, students will have a real world assignment on how to manage small consulting project and present the project result to clients. This was 2 years ago. This was developing a sustainable electric bike rental for an EY partner client case. A best student group had a meeting with EY partner, who is an ISM alumni afterwards. And the people who were up there, who were guiding the project, were our alumni. Actually, this year, I have the same course so that the Mediasäätiö in Finnish trust fund is our client, and we look for them how digital media can survive and the changes brought by artificial intelligence. There, the client is again our alumni, who is the chief operating officer of Mediasäätiö, who happens to be our doctoral alumni. Katri, did you want to say something about courses?
Well, I mean, just to kind of I very much agree with Matti was saying here, and also in supply chain, for example, the capstone course is a real life kind of based project case course with where we typically have 3 companies bringing a supply chain real world problem that student groups then solve. So, for example, last year, for example, students were visiting Prisma stores to develop better solutions for picking processes for online commerce, and we've had other kind of more supply chain oriented and risk management cases. So really kind of again the fact that companies very much like to bring cases to our courses talks of the relevance of the skills that our students can bring to these real life problems.
Yes, and Anna has joined us, our planning officer, and you want to talk about this.
Yes, so hi everyone. My name is Anna Kuparinen and I work in the ISM Master's Program as the planning officer, so I help students with planning their studies. I can present the program structure shortly. It's quite simple. So in total, the master's degree is 120 credits. So it means in 2 years, you would study like 60 credits per 1 year. About 2/3 of the program is program studies. So it means information and service management specific studies, and then the rest, about 1/3, is elective studies. So in the ISM specific studies, you would do about 9 courses. Some of them are mandatory for all students, but not too many. Mostly the courses are elective, so there is a long list of courses in different tracks where you can choose very freely. You can either choose to do like one specific specialization area, or you can mix courses pretty freely. And then there is always the mandatory thesis and seminar for all students, which is 33 credits in total in the second study year. And then the rest of the program is elective studies. So it means that you can always do more information and service management studies, but you can also choose to do studies from another field. You can do either a minor, or you can choose not to do a specific minor, but just do like elective courses from different fields. And in Aalto University, in the campus, we have like many different fields and subjects, and you can choose pretty freely also courses from other fields. You can choose from business school, from other subjects, but also from the technical side or arts, or you can choose to go for exchange studies abroad and do the minor there. So there are many different options, but this is the structure shortly. If you have any questions, I can answer you in the chat or here.
I think you are on mute, Matti.
Apologies, I have missed the button. So now we have a student story next here. Jen, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Ijun, and as I introduced myself, I'm a second-year student in the School of Business. I'm currently doing ISM, and I actually did my bachelor's in Aalto as well. I was majored in economics, but later I found that I'm more attracted by kind of how the real business world works, and kind of like the consulting practices, and I was really curious. So I participated in this summer project called the ITP, the Information Technology Program. It was kind of like a minor studies for me, and it was like 24 credits throughout the whole summer. So yeah, like I learned, I touched upon a little bit of the topics that ISM studies. For example, like business analytics and data-driven decision making. And then I found myself like pretty intrigued by these, and I think they're also really contemporary topics in today's business world. That's why I switched my master's major into ISM. There are three things that I really like about this program. The first one being that you have three different areas that you can freely like choose courses from, and you can even mix them if they fit your interest. So I have like kind of a little bit of like expanded interest towards like all three of the areas. So I was able to mix my courses like both in like business analytics, information systems, and supply chain. So I got to kind of like combine them in a way that both kind of like make sense in terms of like study plan, but also kind of satisfy my curiosity, so to say. So I think this is like a really great advantage that you can kind of like expand through all of these areas. And I think the second thing that I really like about the program is the people and the alumni and the network that you will have like studying this program. I also have a lot of friends who are also doing the same program, and they have already worked in consulting, for example, in many years. They have rich kind of like working experience. So I got to really talk to them about like career opportunities, and learn a lot from this process. And also, I think the business technology, the ISM subject club, really had a lot of networking events where they invited the ISM alumni from kind of like the top four consulting companies, or like other even like startup companies, to share their experiences with us, and you can easily kind of network with all of them. And the third, the last advantage that I really like is that um, kind of like it really touches upon the contemporary topics such as like the use of Gen AI, how it can be integrated into like the business models and how you can even like better use them like in your own studies. We have a lot of really in-depth discussions and even like courses about AI. I think they're kind of really uh, helped me to broaden my visions in terms of these topics. And I'm currently doing my master thesis in cybersecurity, uh, in terms of like the supply chain attacks, which is happening like kind of like a rising crisis in nowadays business organizations. And I really enjoy doing these kind of topics. And I don't think like you can easily touch upon these topics like in kind of other programs. So that's a few things that I really value in my studies. Yeah, and on top of that, like studying at Aldo has always been like a really enjoyable experience, and there's always this student community that's there for you, whether you have like problems in terms of like study planning, like you can go to Anna, like she's always really helpful in terms of like kind of like helping you finding out what you can do with your study plan. And if you have any kind of career problems, you can either consult the career services at Aldo, or you can just talk to your classmates, just like go to the company events where you can meet the essential people. They could sometimes offer you really good advices in terms of careers and opportunities. So yeah, like in general, I really recommend this program, and I really enjoyed my time here.
Thank you very much. These were good comments, and this was also here was this point about flexibility. We offer very flexible program, and you can choose freely. But we also through the PT Subject Club, we offer guidance like really ready-made study paths, so you can choose between doing your own as a study path or you taking a ready-made profile for certain job profile from them, and that makes it easier to decide if you're unsure. And this was what we wanted to talk about. Now it's your turn. You can ask in the chat, or you can ask in Q&A, but then you're going to ask here by talking. Floor is yours. Thank you.
So Matti, there's a question in the Q&A on how does ISM differ from the business analytics program? Do you want to maybe take this question?
All right, this is a good question. You can choose in ISM just the same courses as in analytics, but then you're going to have more. You can have a wider repertoire of courses, perhaps different job profiles. Analytics is intentionally made so that it's more strict as a program, so that it has more specialized courses. You can get to more in-depth in one area, then you don't have necessarily the choice there. ISM provides more choice. And if you're more interested in supply chain or information system, then you might be better off in here. Both are good, very good programs provided by our department. Okay, the questions are dying out. We will be here for a little while, but if there are no questions, then we will stop this in like 5-7 minutes. This. You can also, if you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that in any case, we hope to be seeing your applications to our program soon.
If you're unsure, you can also drop emails for us. First name and last name at aalto.yliopisto. There's the question, would it be advisable to include the recommendation letter from my employee in my application? You can just say that you are working. I don't think that this makes a difference because we make the decision is made on the studies, and ain't it so, Anna?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the application criteria, it doesn't include the recommendation letter, so then they are not considered.
And the second question is, if you're doing a bachelor's in aalto, are there extra requirements and admission processes? If you are from business school, you can apply directly. If from other schools, then you have to have with the requirements that we have, specific requirements we have. There's in one of the answered questions, there was the criteria for it.
There was a question about the GMAT requirement. Maybe I could answer that quickly. A question if there's an alternative to the GMAT test. So when applying to the master's programs at the School of Business, if you apply with a bachelor's degree you've completed outside of Finland, then you are required to have either the GMAT or the GRE test. So these are the two options, and unfortunately there are no exemptions from that requirement. But then if you apply with a bachelor's degree from a Finnish university, you are not required to have this test. But if you're applying with a foreign bachelor's degree or a bachelor's degree from a University of Applied Sciences in Finland, then a GMAT or GRE is required. And I put the links to the admission requirements in the chat if you want to have a look, and you can find more information there.
And there's the second question about GMAT scores. Can you also answer that?
Yes. Yeah, if it's possible to submit a new score. There's a deadline for application documents for the upcoming application period. If I remember correctly, it's maybe the 9th of January. So until then, you're able to submit any additional documents you have. But then after the deadline, it's not possible to send any new scores. So we only consider application documents that are submitted by the deadline. And you can find all these, the admission schedule and the deadlines via the link in the chat.
There's a question about whether it is absolutely necessary to know a basic programming language to apply. Not absolutely necessary, and we also offer a MOOC on programming languages in the start, but it will be somewhat difficult to do this without knowing any programming languages. Supply chain management, perhaps, yes.
Yeah, again, like depending on where you want to focus on, if you're not like programming isn't the kind of type of approaches that where you want to focus on. There are multiple courses that offer approaches where you don't need programming. So again, like maybe there are some of the compulsory studies that you need to know a bit, but you can quite a lot, as Matti was emphasizing this, there's quite a lot of flexibility. So depending on whether you want to focus on heavy analytics or more on the managerial side, you can pick your own paths.
It's just in information technology should do well if you have the basic, some of the basic things. There are a couple of things that you need to have in the requirements, but these are usually met easily. Anna, can you answer the question about do we have? I don't think that we currently anybody can get into the master's program if they have suitable studies from within the business school.
Yeah, I mean, if you are a student who is currently studying bachelor's in the
Yes.
in School of Business, then for the ISM program there should be like this just the specific criteria that you can met during your bachelor's studies, and then you could choose ISM as your master's without applying through this like external process that we have for those who apply from outside of Aalto University. So you can check that first.
And career and business experience, does it count? It doesn't count in enrollment, but it will help you during your studies if you have done relevant business experience. In many cases, you can apply your experience there to help others. Good questions. I think it's time for us to slowly end this session, and thank you for good questions. Please apply. If you have any further questions, you can email us for more information. Thank you. Great weekend.
Thank you.